This is Eric Riker. I'm John Kilpatrick with Okolona Aikido, Louisville, Kentucky, USA. And normally in Aikido practice, you are standing where our weapons won't quite touch. So this is the distance we like. Your partner actually attacks you. And in that situation, we do leading. And leading, you know, in that sense is, to us, the core of Aikido. And the jiu-jitsu techniques and stuff you do are just something to do after you've led. There's a situation that comes up in freestyle where your partner doesn't attack you. They're setting up like a prize fighter would do, kind of. He's standing there waiting for you to come in, and he's not going to attack you. He's waiting for you to turn your back on him to deal with one of the other attackers, and then he'll get you from behind. And we actually have people that are mean enough to do stuff like this when we're doing freestyle. So we have to, in this situation, we want to again use reflexes. We want to stimulate the person's reflexes, and this is going to be their startle reflex, a defensive reflex. And so I'm going to list this as leading, but it's under the leading section. But understand, when a leading reflex, people have a grasping or hitting reflex. When they reach for something, a reflex loop takes over to do that. In this case, they're not attacking, so there is no, that reflex loop doesn't exist. And so what we're going to do in that situation, so we can't lead them. So then we have to attack them and stimulate their defensive reflex. And so I don't want to get too close when I do this. If I get too close, if I get in here close, he just stabs me. And there's not much I can do. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our distance back here, and we're going to use this arimi movement where we come in and go through our partner. And so there are a couple of ways of doing this. One way, now he's up ready to get us when we come in. And so I'm standing here now, really you'd be coming toward the guy. And so I'm going to put my hands up into his face to stimulate his startle reflex, which makes him want to pull back rather than attack. But he also, when people defend themselves, they naturally want to attack. So when I do this, he's probably going to stab at me at the moment I do this. And so what's going to happen, I'm going to lunge at him, throw my hands up, and then knock this out of the way, and then come through with this arimi movement and flattening. Now, when you're doing this in practice, what this other hand does is it comes right at his face and then goes to the side so that you don't hurt him. I mean, this can still hurt. It still hits you pretty hard, but it's not the same as you catching him in the middle of the face with your hand. So the hand's not going out here somewhere. It's coming, everything is coming right through his center, except that I'm pivoting so that my body goes past him, it hits him, it goes past him rather than just colliding with him face to face. So if I'm doing this one, I'm here, and we like to have our hands up, so I'm here, boom, and that's doing it going to his inside. Depending on the situation, I might want to go to his outside rather than his inside. And this could be the angle he has his knife tilted. It could be, if his arm is out like that, I have to come to the inside. If his arm is straighter or something, then I can go to the outside. And this is going to be the same thing, except this hand now is going to come knock this out of my way, and the other hand's going to go through his face. And this time I'm way off to the side, so I'm going to do a Yushiro Nagi rather than a Tension Nagi. So let's come this way a little bit more. Yeah, so that I'm toward the edge here. So he's there, and my hands are going to come up and throw here. Now there's another, if my feet are the other way, I can still do this. I can pendulum step here and come here and go behind him and throw him. Or if I'm here, I can do the same move again. So this having the hands come up here is super important. The effect of this is very amazing. Try this and see how it works for you. But when you don't have any time and you can't mess around with a person at all, we find this very useful.